Hello everyone, this is Aditya Mehta and you are listening to Personality Development Podcast. In today's episode, we are going to dive into the topic that's often discussed in hushed tones, but it deserves an open and honest conversation. We all know that laws are designed to protect vulnerable, and in most cases, they have acted like a shield for the women facing injustice. But what happens when these laws are misused? What happens when men are at the receiving end of these laws with false allegations? It's a sensitive topic, but it deserves proper legal clarity and a fair conversation. To navigate us with this conversation, we have a highly experienced legal expert. He is a practicing advocate at the Bombay High Court with 7 years of experience. His deep understanding of the law and with the real world cases, he is the perfect choice for this discussion. Please allow me to welcome Advocate Dishant Chitalia. But before diving in straight into the topic, make sure to subscribe to this podcast and tap on that bell icon so that you don't miss out any future episodes. Thank you so much. Here we go. Hello everyone and welcome back to today's episode. As I've already mentioned, we have Advocate Dishant Chitalia. Hey Dishant, how are you doing today?
Fine. How are you?
I'm doing good. Firstly, I would like to acknowledge this. Thank you so much for being a part of this podcast. I know you have a very busy schedule, but taking out your valuable time to be a part of this show, I really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Most welcome, Aditya. I would like to say that thank you for having me on this platform today.
Well, the pleasure is all mine, Dashant. I mean, this is a very sensitive topic that we are going to touch today, and I believe no one has actually done that before. Okay, and doing that on this podcast is little, out of my comfort zone as well. Literally today, even I'm nervous, but I still feel very positive to have this conversation today and to have it with a person who has handled so many intricate cases. I believe it must be really happening all around when you go in the court and you fight for those people. I believe that's really something for which I have a huge respect for you. Coming to the topic, okay, where laws are mainly to protect women, but they are being misused by some of them. What are your initial thoughts on that? What kind of, let's say, cases that you might have handled? Of course, you cannot mention these names and not specific cases as well. But is there any specific cases which you would like to mention without the names and everything?
See, we cannot discuss the cases or the scenarios because these are something very personal in nature. Even without name, I won't disclose this.
Mm-hmm.
But what I can say is that the laws which are enacted in order to protect the woman,
Mm-hmm.
these are the shield, as you said in your introduction, that these laws are enacted in order to act as a shield. But in today's generation, there are few individuals, instead of using this law as a shield, they are using this as a weapon.
Mm.
There are individuals who are driven by their ego for seeking some personal revenge, for settling some personal scores. They are misusing these laws.
Right.
However, before we discuss this, we should know why these laws were enacted.
Mm.
The objective of the parliament was to safeguard the right and interest of women,
Right.
to protect them from domestic violence,
Mm.
to provide financial security with maintenance, and countless women have got justice who were genuinely in need of support and care.
Mm.
but because of few individuals, the credibility of the genuine cases is undermined. So it would be improper to say that the law is misused by everyone. There are very few individuals.
Right.
However, these laws have played a very crucial and a very significant role in safeguarding the rights of women.
Wonderful. That's very important to say. Many people might have misunderstood the laws as well. So, that was a really good thing to say, that these laws are why it was mainly enacted. And it was really important to say that. So, thank you so much for saying that. Now, the first thing which I would like to ask, okay, is about the alimony or maintenance system which we have in today's law. Okay, I've seen so many cases. Okay, like the news channel are all over with that cases, right? Especially of famous individuals who are there in our society, and those are the things which always makes it to the news as well. And the dilemma is that news channel can talk about it, but most of the people can't, right? So in most of the cases, you see that it was not men's mistake, but still, because they are earning more, I might be making mistake over here, but then you can correct me if you want. Because they are earning more, they end up giving the maintenance or the alimony as per the court orders. How does that work?
No, see, you are absolutely wrong on this. Like, see, there are various factors which are considered by the court of law while adjudicating a matter of maintenance. There are multiple factors. Like when you said that where the husband is earning more and he is liable to pay maintenance to his wife, this is a very incorrect statement.
Right.
Because the court also considers the earning capacity of the wife, the lifestyle of the wife, how much educated she is. Nowadays, the court has taken a very liberal and wider view when it comes to maintenance cases, where a woman is employable or she is highly qualified and she decides to remain unemployed deliberately just in order to claim maintenance from the husband. In that kind of cases, the court is not passing orders of maintenance in favor of the wife.
Okay.
There are multiple factors. The court also considers the financial capacity of the wife. Where is she working? How much salary she is drawing? How much salary the husband is drawing? What are the liabilities of the husband? What are the liabilities of the wife? What is the standard of living? What are their expenses? In a landmark judgment of Supreme Court, the Supreme Court had directed that the husband and wife both have to file an affidavit stating their income and liabilities. So they cannot suppress certain facts from the court of law. So the chances where the court is being misguided or taken for a ride just for claiming maintenance is now ruled out.
Okay.
Like, we are really moving forward and there are constructive legal reforms on which the court is emphasizing, and we are taking a step forward. Discourage false and frivolous litigations.
That's very well said. Most of the times on Instagram and many other social media, it is considered that way, and that's the reason I asked that question. So it was pretty amazingly, you mentioned each and every part, and I really believe that audience is getting educated right now with the very first question that I asked. So thank you so much for answering that very honestly. Now, coming to the part, okay, where we have seen so many celebrities. Okay, I won't take any sort of names over here, but many of the celebrities, although their wives are earning good, okay, it's not like they are not earning that much, okay, and they have ended up paying alimony at the same time. So what must be the factor there? I mean, is it something like, and they have manage to get huge elements. It's not like, a small amount as well. So, what are your thoughts on that? What must be the factors that must have been taken into consideration while taking that action or that order has been passed?
Okay. So when you said that you won't take names of celebrity, but when you said that this thought is coming from, like, you must have heard about a celebrity's case where the husband has paid so and so amount to the wife.
Hmm.
So this is something very personal in nature, as I said earlier.
Yeah.
We are not aware about the terms and conditions which the parties have decided.
Okay.
We are not aware. So in most of the cases when it comes to celebrities,
Hmm.
I like, most of them are not contested matters. Most of them are mutual. Like, both the parties have already decided the terms and conditions, and they have jointly filed a petition
Okay.
to seek divorce on certain terms and conditions. We are predetermined and
Okay.
pre-decided. So the court is not passing any order against
Okay.
them for alimony or maintenance.
Okay. Okay.
So the amount is already decided between the husband and wife. The husband is willing to pay out
Okay.
of his love and affection. If the matter is contested, then it is the duty of the court to decide the quantum of maintenance.
Hmm. That's very well said. This was completely new. Okay. So that's really amazing. So now tell me one thing, and this I want to know very honestly. So should those matters, I mean, those matters you said that they are mutually agreed, but
Like, not
should that matters go to the court and be contested?
it as I said, this is something very subjective. It is your personal view, it is your personal choice. If I say that I want to contest a matter in the court of law,
Mhm.
it might take more than 10 years or 15 years. So I cannot move forward in my life if I continue contesting this kind of cases in the court of law. It takes time.
Hmm.
And in mutual cases where both the parties have decided to dissolve their marriage by mutual consent, where everything is already decided,
Mhm.
it takes 6 to 7 months to dissolve a marriage by mutual consent.
Okay.
However, in a contested petition, it may take more than 10-15 years.
Okay.
It differs from case to case.
Mhm.
Still, it takes time.
So that's a new perspective altogether. Okay. But see, honestly, what I want to ask is how men can protect themselves, okay, when, these kind of cases occur, where very few individual, as you mentioned, okay, have done that marriage just to get eliminated. Okay. So, I mean, there have been not cases that I know of, but, there might be a reason why a wife is getting married at the first place. And I'm not saying this for all the women out there, just to be clear. It is just for the people who might misuse the court of law, right? So please don't spread any hate. Thank you so much. Coming back to you. Okay, so there would be individual who would try to misuse the law. How can a man protect himself from getting into the trap?
Okay, it's a very good question, Aditya. The Supreme Court of India,
Mhm.
this is the highest court of law in our nation, has observed in many cases that men are falsely implicated. Not only the husband, but in fact, the in laws are being dragged into this kind of cases, wherein the wife can actually extort money.
Mhm.
So the court has termed it as a legal terrorism.
Mhm.
And the question which you asked, that how can a man protect himself from false cases?
Yeah.
So the answer to your question is that there has to be a mechanism where there has to be a very strict scrutiny of cases before they are admitted to the court.
Okay.
There has to be a department.
Mhm.
We need to impart legal education. We need to have mediation centers. because the judiciary is overburdened with false cases.
Right.
And when this kind of cases are filed, it does not only impact the accused person, but it also impacts their entire family. It also impacts the judiciary because the judiciary gets overburdened with this kind of false cases. And the justice which has to be provided to the genuine cases gets delayed because of these false cases.
Right.
There has to be a mechanism.
Right.
And the court is really working hard on this to discourage false litigations. See, we as a society, it is also our duty to discourage this kind of false litigations.
Of course.
We should also try our best. The judiciary, the legal practitioners, they are not the only people who are responsible. We as a society are also responsible. We are also responsible for this towards this nation.
Right.
How we can move forward and avoid this kind of cases.
Well, that's wonderfully said. I mean, there should be a mechanism. Okay. And I completely agree with that. But on the men's part, okay, so when they know that they are being falsely allegated towards, let's say, domestic violence, okay, but they know that they haven't done that, okay, but the case has been filed against them. In those cases, what a man should do? I'm asking this question for a reason, because most of the men, okay, will get afraid. They will, turn themselves in. They will be so much, there will be so much of a fear that they won't even, try to defend themselves. What can be the first step when they are being falsely allegated? So what a man should do as a first step, or maybe certain things which they can do?
So the first step should be, whenever a false case is filed, the first step should be, don't be afraid. Have that much of faith in our judiciary. Have that courage to fight this. The entire judicial system is with you. If you have not done anything wrong, don't be afraid. Now, how can a man protect himself? See, first of all, if there is no substantial evidence, the entire case is filed on the basis of some exaggerating and fabricated evidence. There are some false stories, nothing but a figment of imagination. Don't be afraid. You should believe in the trial. You may provide your own version of story, the actual facts of the case. Seek guidance. There are various judgments wherein it is observed that false cases should be avoided, should not be filed. There are certain guidelines. And a man, not even a man, every citizen should be vigilant about their rights. They should know the law. I'm not talking like just like as a lawyer knows all the law. You should know the basics about your rights and duties as a citizen of this nation. You should know the basic law.
Right.
So you can protect yourself. You can protect your rights. You can stand up against the wrong.
Right. That's very well said. Thank you so much for saying that out loud, because it's sometime, people don't have those kind of, knowledge about their rights and duties.
So an opportunity of being heard is provided to every citizen. The court of law gives an opportunity to everyone and to provide their own version of the story.
Right.
After considering and hearing both the parties, the court jumps to a conclusion.
That's very well said. Thank you so much for saying that out loud. So audience, you have got some amazing learnings, okay, because you have to know your rights, and this is one of the right that you guys have. So make sure to use it, okay? And don't be afraid, as Dishant mentioned. Don't be afraid, okay? These are some really important guidelines that you have given, especially for men's who might go into these kind of cases. So that brings me to my last question, okay, of the show. To all the men's out there, okay, if you want to talk to them, okay, and give them a message about the motivation which they need. Let's say there are some men who are trapped into the cases, and they are still looking out a way to get out of it. So if you want to give any sort of message to those men out there,
Sure.
that
And if you have not done anything wrong, the court is never going to do or pass any wrong orders against you. Believe in your fundamental rights. Believe in yourself. Stay strong.
wonderful. That's really well said. And personally, I am motivated and I feel very protected now. So thank you so much for doing that. It was really a great episode. With that being said, guys, thank you so much for listening and watching this episode. I hope you have got some clarities about the subject. And of course, we are going to talk more about it. Okay. So this podcast is a testament that we can talk more about it. And these are the things which needs to be talked about. Thank you so much for watching. This is Aditya Mehta along with Advocate Dishant Chitalia signing off from this episode. See you in the next one. Till then, peace out.